So on our first trip here, we came down the coast and we started at Gandia and then we worked our way down and we got to Altea and we thought, that's the perfect spot. That's exactly where we want to be. We found, well, we had a short list of apartments that we wanted to look at. It turned out that 4 or 5 of them were with Altea Life. And Ernesto took us on a tour around several apartments. And well, we arrived at this one and thought this suited us perfectly.
We found Altea Life very useful. We went into the shop and we could talk to people there, get a little bit more information. They had good particulars, printed particulars with photos and information. And actually that's really helpful because although we'd looked online, we had the information on our phone, but it's great to have a little piece of paper as well. So that when you then go and view the apartment, you can write some notes, you can keep that information. So actually that was really useful and not that many places do that actually. So that was great for us.
No, we went to another agent, didn't we? And they didn't seem to have
any information.
Any information seemed quite difficult, so yeah.
So Altea Life definitely made it easy for us to find out what we needed to about the apartments that we viewed. When we put the offer in on the apartment and the offer was accepted, we come from the UK. We don't speak Spanish. We had never bought a property abroad before, certainly not in Spain. So we really didn't know how the Spanish buying system worked. So we had a lot of questions about the whole process and what we needed to do and what was going to happen. And Altea Life were fantastic actually, weren't they? They speak very, very good English. So we were able to ask questions either by speaking. We had some video calls from the UK to Spain. We sent in lots of emails with questions and we had really good answers. The Altea Life team were very responsive to all our questions and very comprehensive in their answers. So they really took us through from the beginning all the way through to purchase and helped us all the way through, made it very, very easy for us, didn't they? Yeah. Because we really didn't know what to expect at all. So we were very pleased.
Yeah, I think Altea Life just sort of, so they hold your hand all the way through the process, and when you don't know that process, that's a really valuable thing to have, yes. I think, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. Yes, I think that the documentation that came through, we had a Spanish version and an English version. So we were able to have a translation of the Spanish version. And also, if we had any questions, then we could email or phone or have a video call to ask questions. So we felt confident that we were getting good information and that anything we didn't quite understand was explained to us.
I think the interesting thing really was, you know, because we're used to the British system, it almost seemed too straightforward, and I guess that was Altea Life helping us, and the system works in a different way. But
it's very much quicker system here than in the UK. In the UK, you have to have a lawyer for the buyer and the seller. Here, the estate agent, Altea Life, actually does a lot of the work and the preparation, and the legal representative, the notary, then checks that that is all correct. And this means it's a very much speedier system than we're used to in the UK. And from seeing the apartment putting in the offer to it being owned by us was 4 weeks, and it could have been a bit quicker than that. It's only because us and the buyers had to come to Altea, and that was the date that we could both make. So it was extremely rapid, actually, the whole system, which is great.
Yeah, I think I'm amazed how quick and straightforward the whole operation is, really. I think again with the notary, I think it was much more straightforward than I expected, and I guess that's because all the background work had already been done by Altea Life, so it was a case of sitting down and going through it. I thought it would be a much more dramatic situation, but it was quite easy and straightforward, and
it was good, yeah. So what happened was we went to the notary's office. We met with Ernesto from Altea Life, and we met with the sellers of the property, and then we waited. All the paperwork was prepared, and then the notary came in to meet with us all. He checked through everything. He just noticed a piece of paper was missing, so just another copy had to be made of something. There was an English translator there, so that was good, just in case we had any further questions. Both us and the sellers speak English, but Ernesto was there as well with his very good English, and in fact the notary also spoke English. So, everything was conducted in English. There were no final queries really from us, but we were confident that everything was checked properly. And we were there maybe an hour in total, but with the notary maybe for about 15 minutes. And then everything was done, and we shook hands, and the property was ours. It was very straightforward. Well, our concerns were we didn't know the system at all. We didn't know what the process would be like. I think, we didn't quite know what to expect. That was the first issue.
And I think you always worry if you don't understand how a process works. Maybe you make a mistake or something's not quite right, and you don't know, and then in the future there's going to be a big problem of some sort. So you kind of think, oh, is this
Yeah, I mean, because there are taxes to pay and that kind of thing. So, but actually, Altea Life have explained to us exactly what's going to happen next with all of those, and we know that we'll have a foreign buyer's tax in a few months' time to come. So we've kind of got a bit of a timetable, and we know what's going to happen. So I mean, once you buy the property, Altea Life don't just leave you. They actually have an additional process, which is they will switch all the utilities of this apartment from the sellers to us and give us all that information. We don't have to worry about how we're going to pay for the electricity, how are we going to do all these things, because they will actually enable us to do that.
I think ask all the questions that you have. Any concerns, worries, anything like that. Ask the questions up front. You get good information back so that you understand it very quickly. And I think it's trust them. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. You do have to put yourself in the hands of Altea Life. You have to trust them. They know the system. They know it really well, how it works, and they give you really good advice. And we have found them to, really give good advice to us and made the process very... So I wouldn't have any hesitation in recommending Altea Life. They were so helpful and really helped us through the whole process from beginning to end.